in chronic fatigue syndrome, CFS, and deep diving a little bit into the rating criteria. Again, many veterans can definitely relate to being tired and having energy and fatigue, but there are a lot of different issues at play. So we'll talk about what's actually needed because there's sleep apnea, there's energy levels here, autoimmune issues over there, and a variety of different things that could be at play. So for chronic fatigue syndrome specifically, you have to understand you need a diagnosis. You have got to be diagnosed, and the way CFS works is a rule out situation, right? So let's say a rheumatologist in turn is going to rule out things, right? You have lupus, you have fibro, you have other things. So it's not like you just say, hey, here's a test, I have this. Again, a rheumatologist will make a point to actually break it down and start to look at all other issues and rule them out, right? To be able to say, okay, in this instance, we've tried all different things, CFS it is. For example, I went to a rheumatologist, and after literally being under care for a period of time, we ruled out a lot of different things, tried all kinds of medication, all these different things. Eventually, CFS is the diagnosis that was given because we ruled out other things because the symptoms were there. Now, specifically looking at the rating criteria, it shows here at the very top, chronic fatigue syndrome, debilitating fatigue, cognitive impairments such as inability to concentrate, forgetfulness, or confusion, or a combination of other signs and symptoms. I just described to you, I'm sure. Think about it. But now here's the key. You have to understand the breakdown of how they look at it. So, for example, it goes into now symptoms, let's forget the 100, which are nearly constant and so severe as to restrict routine daily activities almost completely and which may occasionally preclude self-care. You may be that person or you may know someone in that predicament. At the 60 range, it looks at nearly constant and restrictive routine of daily activities to less than 50% pre-illness. So literally, if you were 100% able to do things, 50% of that energy is gone and these symptoms are present, which wax and wane, resulting in periods of incapacitation for at least 6 weeks total during the year. Again, understand these key points. At the 40, you see it says, a decrease, let's say between 50 and 75, and instances of incapacitation of at least 4, but less than 6 weeks during the year. At 20, it looks at a reduction of 25% of your energies, and then looking at periods of incapacitation of 2 weeks, but less than 4. At 10, it looks at periods of incapacitation of at least 1, but less than 2 weeks during the year. So again, you kind of get an idea of what it's looking at. The biggest thing is have to be very detailed to show what is the impact on your energy. Again, those numbers mean something. Be very detailed about that and understand when you find this claim, why did you get a 10 when you actually have symptoms all the way to 60? Well, did you highlight those points in your symptom statements, etc.? Because those are key things to know. So keep logs, get seen. And if you have questions about this, feel free to jump into the comment section.